Good evening. This is Channel 1 Weekend. I trust you've had a lovely Friday. My name is Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter is Simon Karutha. We have a comprehensive bulletin lined up. We shall be looking at matters of health, at the same time constitutional review, politics, among others. For now, let's kick off by a standoff has ensued following a court order stopping the ongoing health workers' strike, with the medics maintaining they will not be cowered into resuming their duties until their demands are met. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe, hailing the court's verdict, warned health workers they risk the sack if they fail to report on duty as per the court order. Now here are the details of the controversy 2 weeks after the strike commenced.
The courts have stopped the strike to allow for negotiations, and this is so welcome, especially during this festive season.
This was Mutahi Kagwe earlier today. And in a quick rejoinder, the Kenya National Union of Clinical Officers, Kenya National Union of Nurses and the Kenya National Union of Medical Laboratory Officers said the court order he is addressing is that of an earlier strike for health workers under the Ministry of Health, maintaining the nationwide strike is still on.
It should be noted that the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers and the Kenya National Union of Nurses issued a 14-day strike notice which began on 23rd of November and ended on 7th. That's to mean the strike began on 7th. So this case, as it was filed way before the date that even our strike started. It was filed in the court actually a day after. That's November 24th. That is when this matter was taken to court.
Gibore, the General Secretary of KUKO, says talks with the government have not yielded much, and unless their grievances, especially on their safety and welfare, are addressed, there will be no let-up.
But since we went on the strike, we have had a serial of meeting. Today was the 6th meeting, but still, as much as the Ministry of Labour and the CS of Labour have taken responsibility, have actually done a great job to bring us together, the county government under the Ministry of Health has not been so serious to consider on how to resolve the issues. They have not been able to table any tangible solution to the issues of healthcare workers.
While urging the health workers to return to work, Mutahi noted that the issues raised by the health workers are legitimate, and as government, they're working round the clock to ensure that these issues are addressed.
And we have made sure there is not a single institution that will operate without PPEs, including where we are today. We are also addressing all matters related to the matters of insurance, beginning the 1st of October. That has been done. The counties that have not done so have made arrangements that the National Treasury to forward money directly to NHIF so that every health worker, and indeed every county and national civil servant, may be covered.
Mutahi also warned of dire consequences should health workers defy the court order.
Those of you who may have been on strike, to resume to avoid losing your jobs. Please do not lose your job. As we go towards Christmas, as we go towards the festive season, do not be the one statistic again who will be a job seeker next year.
The health workers, however, say no amount of intimidation will deter them from fighting for what is their constitutional right. Healthcare in the country could face an even bigger labour disharmony by Monday when the 14-day notice given by the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union expires and the strike commences. Caroline Kamar reporting for Channel 1 News.
In other news, the late Nyamira Governor John Nyagarama, who passed away earlier today, will be accorded a state funeral. The Office of the President says already an ad hoc committee led by CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i has been formed to liaise with the family in putting together the burial program. This comes as condolence messages continue to pour in, with the Council of Governors pledging to support the family. Nyagarama passed on while undergoing treatment at a Nairobi hospital. His body has been moved to Lee Funeral Home as burial plans begin.
Friday at Lee Funeral Home. Family, friends, well-wishers and politicians streamed into the home following the confirmation of the death of Nyamira Governor John Obiero Nyagarama. The governor had been admitted at a Nairobi hospital following a short illness before his demise. The Council of Governors, led by its chairman Wycliffe Oparanya, eulogized the late governor as a man who was passionate about health and education.
We have been robbed a great leader who made valuable contributions in realizing the devolution dream. The late governor was a brilliant policymaker, a firm leader who served the country with utmost dedication.
I feel very saddened. The people of Gusii region are extremely saddened. We just pray for the family, and this is our journey as human beings, but nobody wants to be there first.
Remembering that Nyeri has had the misfortune of losing 2 governors, I want to send a message to the people of Nyamira that they can rise again.
We take this time to request our people to be calm, and while we arrange, and we'll be updating them now and then.
President Uhuru Kenyatta also mourned him as a distinguished and true servant of the people whose contribution to the development of the tea sector in Kenya and service to the people of Nyamira will be missed. Deputy President William Ruto described Nyagarama as a selfless and formidable champion for devolution who was genuinely dedicated to public service. ODM party leader Raila Odinga is among those who mourned him. Earlier, the news of the death of the governor was received with mixed feelings in the county as residents mourned his death.
Pia, vile namjua alikuwa mtu mkarimu, kienda kwake anakuona raisi, pia kama ni chakula na kupatia chakula na unaenda. Kwa hiyo alikuwa mtu mzuri.
Huyu mzee angawa alikuwa ni mzee, alikuwa akitutetea sana kila mahali, anatutetea kabisa. Sasa huyu mzee namuombea Mungu tu.
Kazi yake amefanya kulingana na nguvu yake. Wale wanaongea vibaya kuhusu huyu mzee, kuna wengine hata tukiwapea hiyo kazi hawatafanya hata wiki moja, hawataweza.
An ad hoc committee led by Interior CS Fred Matiang'i will oversee his burial plans in conjunction with the family, as he is expected to receive a state burial. Nyagarama becomes the 4th serving governor to die while in office after Nderito Gachagua and Wahome Gakuru of Nyeri and Joyce Laboso of Bomet.
Well, the council is very saddened, and this term has been unfortunate that within this second term, this is the 3rd governor that we are losing. You remember the first one was Nyeri, the second one Bomet, and now we have this one.
The late Mzee Nyagarama had 1 child in India, two children in the UK, and 1 in the US. So as soon as we are able to confirm their travel arrangements, we will communicate the burial date.
Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
Well, may he rest in peace. Now, in other news, the planned swearing-in ceremony of Nairobi County Assembly Speaker Benson Mutura as acting Nairobi Governor aborted, throwing Nairobi County into a leadership vacuum. The swearing-in ceremony did not take place as the judiciary failed to send a judge to officiate the ceremony. Senators Thursday night upheld the decision by the County Assembly to impeach Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko. Gladys Mungai with details of the unfolding events.
Senator Nderito John Kenywa, Laikipia County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote no.
Senator Ongeri Samson Kegengo, Kisii County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Mike Mbuvi Sonko would be dethroned as Nairobi governor the wee hours of Friday morning.
Gross violation of the Constitution or any other law. The ayes had 27, the nays had 16, abstentions 2, the ayes have it. The
Senate banned the midnight oil, sealing his political fate, as 24 senators voted to oust him, while 16 others rejected and 2 opted to abstain.
The effect of the vote is that, pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Government Act, and Standing Order number 75 of the Senate Standing Orders, Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko of Nairobi City County stands impeached.
And barely 12 hours after the Senate ended his political career at the County Hall, County Assembly members would gather to watch the swearing-in ceremony of the Speaker Benson Mutura as the acting governor. However, events would not go as planned. According to the County Assembly Minority Whip Peter Imotok, they were forced to postpone the event owing to a technicality.
Naomba msamaha kwamba sheria tutaifuata. Lazima spika wetu ambaye gavana mtarajiwa ataapishwa kwa siku lingine, si leo, kufuatia sheria kupitia kwa gazeti la kitaifa. Sheria imesema kwamba kuapishwa kwa gavana lazima ikue chini ya saa 4 na si zaidi ya saa 8. Jaji mkuu, jaji ambaye amefika hapa, amefika saa 8 dakika 1. Kulingana na function hii, iwezi timika zaidi ya saa 8 na sekunde 1.
The failure to swear in Mutura putting the county leadership into a vacuum. Earlier, there was divided opinion over the events that transpired in the Senate, leading to the impeachment of Governor Sonko.
Kwa sababu nyinyi mnaruhusu feelings za siasa ziwabebe mpaka wakati maskini haki yake na pesa za raia zinaibiwa, nyinyi mnapigia makofi wezi ambao wako ndani ya county government. Tunangojea kuona magavana zaidi wakiletwa Senate, and we are very happy that we have a Senate that is so independent. Na senators ambao wako na kilio ya maskini na raia ambaye anafaa kufanyiwa kazi na governors na county government.
Sonko's legal team is expected to seek legal redress. In the meantime, should Mutura be sworn into office on Monday, he's expected to hold brief until the end of February, and a by-election be held in March to elect a substantive governor and a deputy. For Channel 1 News, I'm Gladys Mongai.
Still on the same, the impeachment of Mike Sonko has brought to an end one of the most unbridled careers in Kenya's political history. In just 10 years, Mike Sonko rose from a member of parliament to become the governor of one of the most industrious counties in Kenya. However, all that came tumbling down Thursday night when the Senate sided with the Nairobi County Assembly that enough was enough. Kevin Oshiro narrates the political journey of a flamboyant politician and a businessman who branded himself as a darling to the downtrodden.
On 20th September 2010, a flamboyant 35-year-old self-made millionaire made a political statement in Makadara constituency when he defeated seasoned political bigwigs Ruben Dolo and Dick Wathika in a by-election. Gideon Buvi Kioko, alias Mike Sonko, joined the 10th Parliament with flamboyance never seen before in the history of the often conservative legislature.
Vehemently says the dress or the manner in which the Honorable Sonko is dressed today does not depict in the eyes and the opinions and the conscience of the chair. Address befitting the dignity of this House and a Member of Parliament. And under the circumstances, the Honorable Mbuvi, you will remain out of the House until such time that you dress properly. Can you go out of the House and come back when you are dressed properly?
Mike Sonko branded himself as a provider to the poor and a defender of justice to the vulnerable. His support base loved him for it. After serving for 2 years as Makadara MP, Mike Sonko was elected the first Nairobi City County Senator after garnering over 800,000 votes.
Mr. Speaker, I'm going to through private criminal prosecution. I'll meet the governor and they are murderers.
As a senator, Sonko used his oversight mandate to carve his political path to the City Hall. In 2017, Sonko defeated Evans Kidero to become the second governor in Nairobi City County. His tenure as a governor, however, was riddled with conflict after conflict, with suspensions and summary dismissals becoming the order of the day at the City Hall.
This minister of mine and this director of health, whenever I give them orders, they don't comply with my orders. Yes. I've been giving orders, he doesn't comply with my orders. Even this minister will complain all the time.
His own deputy Polycarp Igade, the man who was meant to be the brains behind the power, resigned from office. Igade's departure from City Hall would later open a floodgate of controversies and set Sonko on a path of self-destruct. With investigative agencies breathing down his neck and with no deputy to help him run city affairs, Sonko signed the transfer of some county functions to the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. The entry of General Badi would signal the sunset days of Sonko's reign at City Hall, and in December 2020, Nairobi ward representatives and the Senate said enough was enough.
To Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Government Act, and Standing Order number 75 of the Senate Standing Orders, Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko of Nairobi City County stands impeached.
Kevin Washira, Channel 1 News.
Well, that report brings us to our first break. But before we take that break, let's take a look at some of the messages coming in on our Facebook platform, whereby Tobias Sekilo, you say you are live from Kitale. Felix, you say you're tuned in from Other River. Timothy Muyeko, you say you're tuned in from Kakamega, among many others. Well, let's take that break.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more. Like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Enjoy the magic of Christmas with Coca-Cola.
It's always a full house this season when the family comes together.
To reconnect.
One thing we do, we watch GoTV. We love it.
It's all about making the holiday special. That means keeping the GoTV subscription active because they love it.
GoTV is everyone's favorite place this festive season.
Usimiss out. Get GoTV decoder kwa shilingi 1999.
GoTV. Love it.
A love from the past will mark the love from today.
I love you, Mauro. I love you like I have never loved before.
Now the same obsession that ruined the past will try to destroy the present. Only this time, love will have more than one obstacle ahead.
I need a doctor to tend to her right away. Please, miss. A doctor. Call a doctor.
Loving you is all I want.
Welcome back. Now let's proceed The Ministry of Health says the COVID-19 vaccination will be in the country in the first quarter of next year. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe, issuing the latest statistics on COVID-19, says whereas there is hope of a vaccine, Kenyans should remain vigilant and observe the safety measures. This comes as 11 people succumbed to the disease and another 356 tested positive from a sample size of 5,768.
As the country continues to battle with the adverse effects of the coronavirus pandemic, calls have been made to Kenyans to exercise individual responsibility as we head into the festive season.
Don't be surprised if very severe measures are taken against those who are overloading, those who are not following the protocols that are clear and are supposed to be followed to save people's lives.
Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe, who was attending the opening of the Santa Maria Specialized Surgical Hospital in Murang'a, urged Kenyans not to drop their guard despite the hopes of a vaccine.
Katika mwaka ujao tunaomba Mungu ati mwaka wa 2021 iwe tofauti. Mwaka wa 2020 jameni tumeona mengi.
The Acting Director General of Health, Dr. Patrick Amoth, revealed the vaccine is expected to be in the country in the first quarter of 2021.
The vaccines will be provided for free to all Kenyans. The government will be able to meet the cost of the vaccines that we propose to procure.
This comes as 356 people tested positive for the virus from a sample of 5,768 tested. Of the positive cases, 227 are male and 129 are female. The youngest is a 1-year-old baby, with the oldest being 93. At the same time, 275 people recovered, 227 being from the home-based care, while 48 were discharged from various hospitals. There are 852 patients currently admitted in health facilities countrywide and 5,973 on the home-based isolation and care. 49 patients are in the ICU, whereas 8 are in the high dependency unit. Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has said that the government will take deliberate steps to recognize and appreciate young people in the country for their various contributions. The head of state, in urging the youth to stand up and bring honor to the country, said the government will ensure the COVID-19 pandemic does not bar young Kenyans from accessing quality education. President Kenyatta spoke when he conferred the President's Gold Award to more than 1,640 young Kenyans.
Gold Award is the culmination of a journey to improve and develop talents and skills of our young people, a journey that began years ago. This will not only serve to motivate them, but also to challenge them and inspire more young people to provide selfless service to their communities, their nation, and indeed the entire world. It is particularly important that amid these times of darkened skies, we celebrate the shining examples of the immense potential that our young Kenyans have, all our young people, and all the people of Kenya, that every step is being taken by government to ensure that we emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic as quickly as possible and emerge from it better than before. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted that the President's Award Kenya has developed a publication themed Youth Flattening the Curve at World Ready, documenting the innovative and inspiring stories of the award participants, demonstrating resilience during the pandemic. The publication will serve to negate the notion that young people are the problem, and instead demonstrate the many ways that they are helping us win the war against COVID-19.
In other news, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020 seeks to create an agency that will monitor the conduct of the judiciary with the aim of improving transparency and accountability. Tonight on Constitutional Review, our political reporter Kevin Oshiro puts into perspective the proposed Article 172A of the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020 that seeks to create the Office of the Judiciary Ombudsman.
The 2010 Constitution sought to safeguard the independence of judiciary, but forgot an agency to monitor the independent arm of government, as it is with executive and legislature. In this light, the proposed Article 172A of the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020 seeks to establish the Office of Judiciary Ombudsman. The Judiciary Ombudsman shall be appointed by President with the approval of the Senate. The Ombudsman's mandate shall include receiving and conducting inquiries into complaints against judges, registrars, magistrates, and other judicial officers and other staff of the judiciary. The Ombudsman shall also sensitize and promote engagement with the public on the role and performance of the judiciary and improve transparency and accountability in the judiciary. The Judiciary Ombudsman shall prepare regular reports to the Judicial Service Commission and an annual report to Parliament on any complaint, stating the findings and recommendations on the action to be taken by the Judicial Service Commission. The bill puts the qualifications for appointment as a Judiciary Ombudsman to be the same as that of a judge of the Supreme Court. Article 6, however, bars the Judiciary Ombudsman from investigating any matter pending before any court or tribunal, or reopening a court or tribunal case, or review a judge's decision. The Judiciary Ombudsman shall hold office for a single term of 5 years and is not eligible for reappointment. Sub-Article 8 requires Parliament to allocate adequate funds to enable the Office of Judiciary Ombudsman to perform its functions. Kevin Washira, Channel 1 News.
In a separate matter, youths have been challenged to use their talent to drive development and generate income. ICT Cabinet Secretary Joe Musheru, presiding over the launch of a book by KBC's news anchor and health reporter Purity Museo, urged young people to invest and develop a saving culture to transform their lives. Now, the book by Purity, titled You Will Overcome, focuses on her life struggles and her battle with the coronavirus disease. Yusuf Farah has more details.
Wow, 1, 2, 3.
The launch of the book You Will Overcome brought together book lovers, friends, family and colleagues in the media industry as Purity launched her life story and battle with the coronavirus disease. It is here that ICTC's Joe Musheru, presiding over the event, challenged young people to use their abilities for the sake of development.
Some of the things that as government we've been trying to really bring out about Kenya and about our youth and about really the beauty of our country. It's not just in the land, it's also in the people. It's also in our greatest asset, which is the young people. Young people being able to take challenges and convert them to opportunities. As the Minister of Innovation, I have seen very many innovations, many coming from the youth, and I'm very, very encouraged.
Musheru pointed out that youth are the future and the government has invested heavily in ensuring they're part of the country's development.
So we've been working with the president. He's very, very, very passionate about youth. You know, we launched the Boda Boda Chama. We also launched the Kenya ni Mimi campaign. We also launched Jaza. Now Jaza is a network. Jaza kidogo kidogo come together.
Musheru hailed Purity for writing the book, which tells of the struggles that youth go through, as well as the continued challenge of stigma against COVID-19 patients.
The great thing is that you have a microphone, you have a camera, and with the support of the board, they will allow you to tell people all these things.
KBC Board Director Charles Molile commended her for taking the initiative to document her story that will inspire other young people.
Purity is a big inspiration to the girl child, given her very humble background, which she has also enumerated to all of us here. And her story, though moving, actually gives a lot of hope to the girl child. As a board, we encourage innovation. As a board, we support the growth of talent. As a board, we stop at nothing to ensure that each and every staff member from whatever cadre of the organization is supported to achieve his or her dreams.
Kenya's ambassador to Uganda, Kiema Kilonzo, celebrated the COVID-19 survivor as a person who chose to turn her lowest moments into a story of hope.
When most would despair, you decided to be a person of resilience, a person of calm mind, and you decided to document your experience for the benefit of mankind.
Purity says she hopes her book will inspire young people to believe in themselves and turn their situations into a blessing.
Do not allow your background to determine what you want to become. You can dream of becoming something big and just work towards it. Put on the hard work. That is why I wrote this book. And since I'm living my dream, I aspire to empower young people, to speak with them.
The book titled You Will Overcome tells of her story on how she was an orphaned young girl, worked as a house help and rose to become a news anchor and a reporter. She was among one of the journalists fated with the Head of State commendation for her role in telling the COVID-19 story. She was infected with the virus and has since recovered. The book documents her recovery journey. I used to tell myself, it is just a matter of time before they watch me on TV. I did not allow my background to determine my future. Do the same. When you wake up, speak up to that situation. Tell it is a matter of time before things change. Speak to that sickness, proclaim healing, and I promise you, you will overcome. An award-winning journalist and a COVID-19 survivor, Purity's story reminds us all that no matter what we're going through, indeed, we will overcome. Reporting for Channel 1 News from Nairobi, my name is Yusufar.
Well, congratulations to our very own Purity Museo on the launch of your book, You Will Overcome. In other news, residents of Manyata village in Maragua constituency are in shock following the discovery of the body of a minor that had been dumped in a farm. This comes as a 7-year-old boy was reported missing after he was abducted by the farmhand. It's a bandit's world in this village located in Mahio, Naivasha sub-county. Locals here say their lives are constantly threatened by brazen attacks by cattle rustlers.
Sina mahali ya kubeba masiwa, sina makitu ya kusema ati nenda kwa fulani ukanitafutie kitu ya kukunywa. Labda uende ukanunua masiwa ya UHT.
Tunauzanga hiyo ng'ombe, tukanunua chakula. Hii jua imewaka, mwaka wa kulima umeingia, tutatafuta pesa wapi ya kufanya hiyo kazi. Hiyo ndio sinda tulikuwa nayo kabisa.
The locals, in urging the government to intervene, say they risk losing everything they own to runaway banditry. In Kiambu County, the government is set to commence the recarpeting of 13 kilometers of road within Thika towns and its environs. A 700 million shilling project will also see the construction of walkways, street lights and proper drainage systems.
Patient with us. We are going to do roads in a way such that it will take another 10 years before we require any more road works.
Pigana na vile zamani Thika ilikuwa, tuketaka irudi vile ilikuwa. Zamani ilikuwa safi, sasa tunataka irudi vile ilikuwa.
Well, we do apologize for that mix-up. That was the county roundup where over 200 farmers from Mahio in Naivasha petitioned the Ministry of Interior to urgently address the rising cases of cattle rustling in the area. Now, let's retake the story from Maranga, whereby residents of Manyata village in Maragua constituency are in shock following the discovery of the body of a minor that had been dumped in a farm. This comes as a 7-year-old boy was reported missing after he was abducted by the farmhand.
According to the residents, it was difficult to identify the body of the minor as it was badly mutilated and some parts missing.
Lakini kile ambacho kimeshtua watu wa kijiji hiki ni kupata mtu ambaye alikuwa ametupwa katika hilo shamba ambaye anafanana na binadamu, lakini kwa vile tumemuona na wakati tuliposhuhudia tuliona ni kama yeye ama sio yeye. Lakini kwa vile askari wamekuja na wao ndio wana uwezo wa kwenda na kuangalia ili wafanye utafiti na wajue ni nani. Wao ndio sasa wako katika ushukani.
Njuguna Mwirori, the grandfather of the 7-year-old, claims the farm had abducted their grandson last Sunday and left for Nairobi. He then asked for his pay and was sent for 4,000 shillings. Since then, he has been demanding a ransom of 50,000 shillings to free the boy, an amount the family declined to pay, only to later find the boy of a minor discarded in the farm.
Tukakuwa tulikuwa na mfanyakazi alikuwa anaitwa Mwaura. Aliweza kuiba mtoto huyu wa kiume Chege, akatoroka naye siku ya Jumapili tarehe 13. Alipotoroka naye alidai pesa za siku hizo alikuwa amefanyia kazi siku mpaka tarehe 13, shilingi 4,000 na tukamtumia.
The grandfather reported the incident to Sabasaba police station and was referred to the DCI offices in Makuyu to record a statement as investigations begin.
Nilikimbia polisi, nikaenda nikapiga report, wakanipa ubi, nikaambiwa niende kwa CID Makuyu, na nikaenda nikaripoti hiyo mambo, na sasa akaniambia watafanya uchunguzi. Sasa bado anasakwa na CID.
Verifying the incidents, the area MCA Karanja Kabera says investigations are ongoing as they seek to determine the identity of the minor through DNA testing.
Na maana polisi wa Sabasaba wameingia wakachukua hiyo mwili na wanapeleka mochari, alafu wachuguse kama ni yule tulikuwa tunatafuta au ni mtoto mwingine.
The grandparents remain hopeful that the discarded body is not that of their grandson.
And across borders, more than 300 schoolboys have been reunited with their families a week after they were kidnapped from school in northwest Nigeria. The boys, looking visibly tired and weary, arrived in the state capital, Katsina, by bus amid tight security. The 11th December attack on the school in Kankara town was claimed by the Islamist militant group Boko Haram. And U.S. Vice President Mike Pence has received the coronavirus vaccine live on TV. More details in the international briefs. Katsina Governor Aminu Bello Masari says the 344 children had been turned over to security officials, while the other boys' whereabouts are yet to be determined. Parents were overjoyed to be reunited with their sons and could not believe when they heard of the missing boys' return, while others were left dejected when their children were not among those in the lineup. The government insists no ransom was paid, but that the boys were released after negotiations with the kidnappers. Although Islamist militant group Boko Haram said it was behind the kidnapping, this has been denied by Nigerian officials. And U.S. Vice President Mike Pence has received the coronavirus vaccine live on TV, telling the audience and doctors, and I quote, "I didn't feel a thing." The White House said the aim of the move was to promote the safety and efficacy of the vaccine and build confidence among the American people. Pence's wife and Surgeon General Jerome Adam also received the jab at the televised White House event. On Monday, the U.S. began rolling out the Pfizer and BioNTech vaccine, the first vaccine to be approved in the U.S. It offers up to 95% protection against COVID-19. The first 3 million doses are being distributed to locations across the 50 U.S. states.
Ni mimi. Ulitoa pikipiki? Mulitani sitaomoka. Ni yako. Hii nduti ni yangu. Niliwahi pale Quickbit. Quickbit? Quickbit imekuja kusaidia wananchi kama sisi. Nilinunua 399 shillings. Juu nilikuwa the lowest unique bidder. 399 shillings. Quickbit shilingi moja unaweza nunua free. Shilingi 2 unaweza nunua micro. Shilingi 5 unaweza nunua hata gari. So tupeleke huko hata sisi. Mtu
Jiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bid yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16. Kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bid yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bid ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio ununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
A love from the past will mark the love from today.
I love you, Mauro. I love you like I have never loved before.
Now the same obsession that ruined the past will try to destroy the present. Only this time, love will have more than one obstacle ahead.
I need a doctor to tend to her right away. Please, miss. A doctor. Call a doctor.
Loving you is all I want.
And in the business world, government has completed the merger of 4 state entities in a bid to improve transport efficiency. The operations of Kenya Railways, Kenya Ports, ICDC and Kenya Pipeline will now be managed by the Kenya Transport and Logistics Network. National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani has said following the signing of joint operations agreement, the new logistics entity is expected to affirm Kenya's position as the regional transport and logistical hub.
President Uhuru Kenyatta announced the merger of the 3 state entities mid this year, saying it was meant to improve transport operations in the region. Uhuru said the move was meant to boost synergy among the 4 entities and improve country's competitiveness in the areas of trade. National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani has said ICDC will be responsible for securing the achievement of commercial vision and objects of agreement through the board of directors of each entity. Yatani says to make Kenya an African logistics hub will require committed leadership, focused management and sacrifice from all players.
Because in every institution, the human resource component is the biggest impediment sometimes to change. It can be the biggest beneficiary of change, it can be the biggest facilitator of change, but sometimes can also be a biggest impediment to change. And I leave it to you. With management, the board, under the guidance of the board, we want everybody to shape up, because there's no time to babysit you, there's no time to nurse your ego, there's no time to move with your speed. We are going to move with our speed. With the era of technology, ICT, with free flow of information, with everybody in the same economic space, we have no option but to make sure that, we run ahead of the others.
Yatani further says the global economy is now more competitive and no economy can survive on outdated systems.
So we as KPA and our management are committed to making sure that after signing of this joint operations agreement, we will play a key role as the beginning of the logistics chain. Everything starts here in Mombasa.
The operating agreement today will support us in making sure that we run more effective and efficient operations. We make it easier for our customers to get their goods and services into Kenya and ultimately improve the livelihoods of Kenyans. We have deliberated this as a board, and our board is aligned and our board is ready to support.
On behalf of the board of directors, management of Kenya Railways, I assure you of the commitment to deliver on the mandate on this KTLN.
Industrial and Commercial Development Corporation (ICDC), which will oversee the other 3 entities, will be headed by former KBC chairman John Gomi. Reporting for Channel 1 Business News from Mombasa County, I'm Michael Mondiga.
Thika Road users Thika Road users will have to bear with slower travel times after the contractor building the long-awaited Thika Road bus rapid transit system began works on transit stations in the corridor. Housing and Urban Development Principal Secretary Charles Hinga said despite the slow start, construction of the 28.5-kilometer BRT line 2 from Ruiru to Kenyatta National Hospital in the metropolis has begun in earnest.
The government floated the Thika Road BRT Line 2 BRT tender as a pilot in November 2019, saying it intends to improve the infrastructure of the Thika Superhighway to accommodate the project. And now, during a tour of the project, Housing and Urban Development Principal Secretary Charles Hinga says the project has started to take shape with the completion date slated for June 2022. And on the type of buses to run on the system, Hinga tweeting that one articulated bus with a capacity of 2 DMUs and 2 doors on both sides will be used.
The bus specifications that we have actually developed in the matter and shared with the local manufacturers, and still it's a question of debate because we are also looking at some of the standards we are bringing in, like having a stainless steel cage for the chassis and a low floor chassis. And universal access to include even people with disability, and low floor stations that are, we have level boarding for buses and all that. The safety aspect of the buses we are specifying will be a new offering in the market.
Chinese firm Stekol Corporation, in collaboration with the engineering firm Smedi, was tasked with remodeling the Thika Superhighway to accommodate support facilities such as boarding stations and footbridges. A park and ride facility is under construction at Kasarani to allow commuters heading into the city centre to leave their vehicles and transfer to a mass transport bus for the remainder of the journey. The existing footbridges on the busy highway will guide the placement of the initial stations for the BRT system. Alan Auko, Channel 1 Business.
In other news, commercial banks' profitability in the 10 months to October this year dropped to a 5-year low as COVID-19 scourge tampered with market dynamics. The Fresh Credit Survey report by the central bank showed that profit before tax tanked by 29.7% to 99 billion shillings compared to 140 billion shillings in the same period in 2019.
Port, tourism, manufacturing and the real estate sectors saw a drop in credit demand of 54%, 46% and 44% respectively. In the survey, 67% of the banks reported that the COVID-19 pandemic had negatively impacted the demand for credit. There was a 15.7% spike in the share of gross non-performing loans that accelerated by 55 billion shillings to 402.3 billion shillings. The sectors with the highest increase in non-performing loans include tourism, restaurants and hotels, transport and communication, as well as personal and household sectors. Banks now intend to intensify credit recovery efforts in the sectors in order to enhance the reduction of non-performing loans, therefore improving the overall quality of their asset portfolio. Despite the repeal of the interest rate cap in 2019, only 20% of banks indicated that the repeal had increased their lending to SMEs. 77% of the respondents indicated that the repeal of the interest rate capping law had no effect on their lending to SMEs. During the period under review, liquidity of the banking industry fairly remained stable at 52.76%. CBK says banks intend to deploy excess liquidity towards credit, mostly by lending to the private sector, CBK liquidity management through repos and interbank lending, and investing in treasury bills and bonds. Betty Kiptum, Channel 1 Business.
Kenyans have been urged to embrace renewable energy to cut on costs of services and also as an alternative way to deal with effects of climate change as the government plans to map out areas that have potential for renewable energy. Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation Director Alex Jesosi said green technologies will reduce effects of warming and help Kenyans get energy at a lower cost.
Kenya's electricity demand expanded to 1,944 megawatts compared to 1,804 megawatts attained in February 2020 amid the COVID-19 pandemic, according to Kenya Electricity Generating Company, KenGen. And earlier this year, the utility firm reported that there was a drop in demand in April and June of this year. The statistics confirming that Kenya is yet to embrace renewable sources of energy.
Basically, we depended a lot on fossil energy, but now there's a lot of information and sensitization on renewable energy, and the Kenyan people embrace technology very fast, and in a few years from today, I think this is the way to go. We will go clean. You of course know Kenya plays
Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation REREC Director Alex Jisosi said the assent on Energy Bill 2019 by President Uhuru Kenyatta has given a green light to serious investments on renewable energy.
So the expanded mandate included solar, biogas, biomass, cogeneration, tidal energy, all the aspects of renewable energy.
Speaking during an inspection tour of Bukura Renewable Energy Center in Kakamega, Chesosi pointed out that county governments could also partner with the Ministry of Energy to set up demonstration centers to offer training and capacity building to residents in areas that are viable for renewable energy.
Basically, it's a center of excellence where the local citizens come here so that we can take them through the different variables of renewable energy we have here.
The use of biogas, whereby we derive the gas from cow dung, that is the animal waste, and we usually try to promote that technology, that the locals embrace it, because most of our farmers around do keep animals.
According to eco-experts, a renewable energy farm, Kenya emerged as the least toxic country globally, followed by Tanzania, Ethiopia and Mozambique. Alan Aoko, Channel 1 Business.
Moving on, Coca-Cola is to cut about 2,200 jobs in its global workforce as part of a restructuring plan. At the end of 2019, Coca-Cola had around 86,000 employees but faces pressure on its revenues, which have been hammered by the pandemic. The soft drinks giant restructuring has been accelerated by the coronavirus pandemic, which has seen the widespread closure of venues where Coke is sold.
Coke has responded to the crisis with plans to restructure its business and slim down its portfolio. Coke expects job cuts to result in annual savings of between $350 million and $550 million, a spokesman for the company said. The bulk of the layoffs will be in the US, where it will shed 1,200 jobs. At the end of 2019, Coca-Cola had around 86,000 employees but faces pressure on its revenues, which have been hammered by the pandemic. Elsewhere, Google is being sued by 38 US states, accused of trying to make its search engine as dominant inside cars, TVs and speakers as it is in smartphones. Google has said in a blog that redesigning its search engine will deprive Americans of helpful information. The complaint was filed on Thursday by 38 US state territories with both Democrat and Republican prosecutors. In some ways, the latest complaint is focused on the $1 billion Google pays each year to ensure its search engine is installed as the default option on browsers and devices like mobile phones. And Peter Rowe, chief executive of biotech firm Deep Branch, is creating animal food from greenhouse gas to feed to animals. Rowe and his partners say they are trying to reduce carbon footprint of animal feed, which is often shipped around the world. The process, which is based on a proprietary gas fermentation process by which microbes are fed carbon dioxide along with hydrogen produced using an electrolyzer and water. Finally, British Airways has cancelled services to more than 15 long-haul destinations next year. Passengers have reported saying they have had trips cancelled in 2021 and are waiting for advice from British Airways on whether they will receive a refund or a flight voucher.
Now, in the sports arena, Athletics Kenya chairman Jack Tuwei has challenged upcoming athletes to not only focus on their talent but also focus on education. The athletics boss also emphasized on the need to run and win clean.
Since sporting activities were halted in March this year due to the coronavirus pandemic, a number of young athletes have been left with no source of livelihood as they entirely depend on earnings from competitions. The situation has forced KBC Foundation, in collaboration with Standard Chartered Bank, to tour the country and support the athletes during these tough times. Athletics Kenya President Jack Tuwei, who was the chief guest at a two-day seminar for young athletes on entrepreneurship skills at KBC High School, challenged upcoming athletes to focus on education despite the talent they hold.
This is a great initiative that I think we need to appreciate, and we need to encourage other corporate companies to come up and support this program. So we want to do that. And of course, the facilitators who came here to talk to the athletes, to talk to these young athletes, because we all need to talk to them so that they can come up as responsible people.
You should not wait to be told go for training. You should start from morning and afternoon training. So those are the things which is needed. And have your timing. See that you improve your time through your training.
The athletics boss singled out Paula Radcliffe as one of the athletes who are running more than when they were in active athletics. Tuwei also called on athletes to run and win clean. Karanja David for Channel 1 Sport.
Manchester United boss Ole Gunnar says his side played brilliant football as they moved to 6th in the Premier League with a comeback victory over bottom club Sheffield United. Marcus Rashford's double ensured the visitors maintained the perfect away record in the Premier League this season, but it came after a horror start and a late scare.
Goalkeeper Dean Henderson, playing against his former club, gifted the Blades an opener after 5 minutes when forward Oliver Buck blocked his clearance, allowing David McGoldrick to tap in. Rashford equalized after 26 minutes, his powerful strike from Victor Lindelof's through ball, giving Aaron Ramsdale no chance.
Marcus Rashford buries the ball past Aaron Ramsdale, and it's Manchester United who go route one
at the second attempt.
And from 0 to 60 in no time, and a disguise.
Elsewhere, Aston Villa.
Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has been named the top men's coach at the Best FIFA Awards, with Bayern Munich forward Robert Lewandowski claiming Best Men's Player. The awards were held in Zurich, Switzerland.
Jurgen Klopp won the prize for a second successive season after beating off competition from Leeds boss Marcelo Bielsa and Bayern Munich's Hansi Flick, who were the other finalists for the award.
I have honestly so many people to thank, and especially and most of all my coaches. This morning we sat together and I thought, actually, if I would have known that I win it, that we win it, then they would have been all here and we would now stand left and right of me. So I have to thank Pep Linders, Pete Kravitz, John Achterberg, Vitor Matos and Jack Robinson.
Poland striker Lewandowski struck 15 times in 10 games as Bayern won the Champions League last season, while also contributing 34 league goals as the Bavarian side added the Bundesliga title. Spurs forward Heung-min Son won the Goal of the Year award for his stunning solo effort against Burnley last season. Meanwhile, Manchester City and England defender Lucy Bronze was named the Women's Player of the Year. Bronze won a third successive Champions League title with Lyon in August before returning to City later in the summer.
Well, that is it from us here at KBC Channel 1 Weekend. Remember, for more news, well, check out our website at kbc.co.ke. My name is Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter was Simon Carutha. Well, and up next, we shall have Yusufar with the weather updates. Have a good night.
Tonight, the coast, highlands, east and west and the central parts of the country will be staring at a rainfall with dry weather conditions dominating the rest of the country. Eldoret is staring at 10 degrees Celsius, making it the coldest in the country. Good evening. My name is Yusuf Farah. Time now for your Channel 1 weather updates. Tomorrow morning, sunny intervals accompanied by showers in the areas of Malindi. The rest of the coastal region will be having sunny intervals, so a good time to go by the beach for a walk or a swim. The northeastern region, Mandera and Garissa, will be having sunny intervals, and the same will be experienced in areas of Lodwar and its environs. Let's now take a look at the afternoon. Kisii, Kisumu and Kakamega will be having showers accompanied by thunderstorms. Best keep warm in that area. Meru and Nyeri will be having showers accompanied by sunny intervals, and the same will be experienced in a few areas of the coastal region. However, sunny intervals continue to dominate areas of the northeastern region, the Lake Turkana Basin and areas bordering Kenya and South Sudan. Let's now take a look at the temperatures, where Mandera will be having highs of 36 and lows of 23. Marsabit highs of 25, lows of 17, and the capital city highs of 25 and lows of 15. On that note, I complete your local weather forecast. The international weather forecast is coming up in a bit. Remember, stay safe, wash your hands and maintain social distance. Until we meet tomorrow, have yourself a lovely night.